Chapter 9. Augie was very surprised when Donika yelled out the window at him, but not as surprised as Turk was. Even though Augie had tied the end of the leash around the banister, Turk got so excited when he heard Donika yelling that he pulled it loose. As soon as he realized he was free, Turk took off on a tear. "Hey," yelled Augie, "come back here." By the time Donika arrived, Turk was already out of sight. "I need to talk to you about that cheese," she panted. "I can't talk right now," Augie told her. "I have to catch my dog." Turk shot out from between two houses. A garden hose clamped between his teeth. When the hose reached the limit of its length, it jerked tight with a loud boing, sending Turk flying backward into a muddy flower bed. Augie made a dive for his dog, but Turk was too fast for him. "Turk, sit!" Augie shouted. Turk immediately sat down and began scooching his backside along the sidewalk, something Mrs. Cooter often scolded him for doing on the hall carpet. "Guh," said Donika, momentarily forgetting that nobody was around to supply the ends of her words. When Turk made a pit stop at a fire hydrant, Augie made another attempt to snag him. But again, Turk was too quick. "He's headed for your house," Augie yelled over his shoulder to Donika. "Come on." Donika joined in the chase as Turk went careening around the Perfecto's neatly manicured lawn, knocking over several clay flower pots, and then jumping the fence in a very ungraceful manner. Splash! Augie stopped running and looked at Donika. "Uh-oh," he said. Augie had never seen the Perfecto's pool, but he knew it was on the other side of that fence. As Augie cooled himself off by running through the sprinkler in his front yard on hot summer days, Hannah and Dawn would ride by on their bikes, wearing swimsuits and flip-flops. Donika would open the gate for them, and soon their happy shrieks and the smell of hot dogs grilling would waft over the fence, making both Augie and Turk raise their noses in the air and sniff longingly. Sure enough, when Donika pushed open the gate this time, there was Turk paddling around in the Perfecto's kidney-shaped pool, leaving a trail of grass and mud behind him as he went. Mrs. Perfecto came running out onto the patio. "What in the world?" she cried. "Who let that disgusting creature in the pool?" "Sorry, Mrs. Perfecto," said Augie. "That's my dog, Turk." "What on earth is he doing in the pool?" Augie was about to launch into the whole story when Donika jumped in. "It's not Augie's fault," she said. "I told him to put his dog in the pool. I wanted to see if he could swim." Augie was surprised. Why was Donika lying to her mother? He was perfectly willing to take the blame for Turk. But before he could say anything, Mrs. Perfecto turned on her heel and started back into the house. "If it makes you happy, Cupcake, that's all that matters," she called over her shoulder. "There are clean towels in the Cabana Banana if you need them." "Cabana Banana?" Augie asked. It sounded even more ridiculous than a bagel named Sunshine. "She means that thing," Donika explained, pointing to a long yellow plastic storage chest sitting next to the pool. "That's where we keep the towels for when we have guests." "Oh," said Augie, who, of course, had never been a guest at one of the Perfecto's pool parties. "You know, Augie," said Donika sweetly, "you really should come over and swim in the pool sometime when it gets warmer." "Yeah?" said Augie. "Purr-ip, purr-ip. That'd be cool." Turk, hearing Augie's purr-ip, let out a happy bark. Then he continued his pursuit of a large pink and white inflatable beach ball that had blown into the pool. "So anyway, Augie," Donika said, twisting a piece of her golden hair around her finger as she spoke, The reason I wanted to talk to you was because I was wondering if I could ask you a teensy-weensy little favor. A favor, Augie replied. Sure. It's about that cheese thing you were doing out on your porch. Charving, you mean? Whatever you call it, I want to know if you can teach me how to do it. Augie was so delighted he had to prip again. Turk didn't bark this time. He'd finally managed to catch the beach ball and in the process had popped it, so he had a mouthful of soggy pink and white plastic at the moment. Maybe when it gets warmer and I come over to swim in your pool, I could bring some cheese and my atlas and we could practice together, he said. I don't think you understand, Danica was getting impatient. I need you to teach me how to do it today. Actually, like right now. Now? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to help my mom at the store this afternoon. But you have to, Augie. Please, whined Danica. If you don't teach me right away, I won't have enough time to practice before tomorrow afternoon. What's happening tomorrow afternoon? Danica realized too late that she had painted herself into a corner. If she told Augie about the contest, he might decide to enter it himself. She certainly couldn't have that. Think fast, she told herself. Okay, see, I have to do a birthday party for Dawn's little sister, she said. They were supposed to have a clown, but he canceled at the last minute. So I said I'd do it. And I don't know how to make balloon animals or do magic tricks or anything, so I was thinking. You want to charve for them, said Augie. Yeah, why not? Little kids love cheese, right? I guess, Augie said. So will you teach me, asked Danica. Now? I told you already, I can't do it right now. Unless what? Unless you want to come down to the store with me. You could charve while I sort shoes. Danica swallowed hard. You mean go inside your parents' store? With you? She said uneasily. Yeah, we've got plenty of cheese in our fridge, said Augie. I'll go put Turk inside and grab some slices. Get your bike, and I'll meet you back out here in a minute. Danica didn't see any way around it. If she wanted to impress the Hidden Talents judges, she was going to have to do whatever it took to make it happen, even if it meant going with Augie Cooter to his parents' creepy old junk shop to learn how to charve. A minute later, Danica was wheeling her bike out of the garage. As she hopped on, a gust of wind blew through the neighborhood, strong enough to make the bike wobble underneath her. Danica grabbed the handlebars tighter. Augie was already waiting for her at the bottom of the driveway. He grinned and waved. Then he sniffed and wiped his nose with the back of his